If you watched the first TV debate between me and Boris Johnson, you'll see me hold up these censored, blacked-out reports. Pages and pages of censored, blacked-out reports of secret US and UK talks about breaking open our NHS to US corporations and thus driving up the cost of medicines. You'd have seen Boris Johnson lose his cool, very angrily react by saying that it's an absolute invention, it's completely untrue. He told the country there was no circumstances whatsoever in which his government or any Conservative government would put the NHS on the table into any trade negotiations. What I have here is something I can reveal to you. "451 pages of unredacted documents and information. All of it here. His government released this. We have since obtained this, which is a very different version of events. Perhaps he'd like to explain why these documents confirm the US is demanding the NHS is on the table in the trade talks. These uncensored documents leave Boris Johnson's denials in absolute tatters. Voters need to ask themselves some very serious questions. Is the NHS safe in Boris Johnson's hands? We've now got evidence that under Boris Johnson, the NHS is on the table and will be up for sale. He tried to cover it up in his secret agenda, but today it's been exposed. Now we know the truth. When Johnson says, "Get Brexit done," it's a fraud on the British people. This is the reality. Years of bogged-down negotiations and our NHS is up for sale. This election is now a fight for the survival of our National Health Service as a public service free for all at the point of need. So for the want of any doubt, let me give this reassurance. Labour will never, ever treat our NHS as a bargaining chip in trade talks with anybody. We will never let Donald Trump get his hands on our NHS, because our NHS is not for sale. We're talking here about secret talks for a deal with Donald Trump after Brexit, a deal that will shape our country's future. These reports pull back on the curtain of the secrecy that's been plotted for all of us behind closed doors by this Conservative government. This is what they don't want you to know. He's got to come clean on what the Conservatives' sellout plans are for our National Health Service. Labour will not let this rest, because unlike the Conservatives, we're not on the side of the billionaires and the bankers. We're on the side of the nurse, the doctor, the patient, and the people, and we will never sell out our National Health Service.